everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Wee Touch of Madness, the video podcast every single week. Now, today I have a guest with me. Some of you may know him, some of you may not, but this is what we are here to find out. We're here to find out who he is, what he does, and what his current thoughts are on the music industry. Same every week, but you keep coming back, so I'm going to keep bringing it out. So today I have Azam with me. You right, mate? How you doing?
Good to hear you. Good to see you, Loz. Yes, Azam here. Good to be. Yes, I've been checking out your content, and it's good.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
And I was saying, I think you're the next Joe Rogan.
Joe, maybe the skinnier version and maybe less weed, but yeah, okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, how you been doing, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Just getting over the pandemic. Survived it. And it's I just basically been watching the disintegration of the music industry as we know it, and having a good laugh about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll hold off on that one until we get to that topic. Don't do any spoilers now for everybody out watching at home. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of like just in a way that if someone hasn't heard of you before, and what you do?
Sure thing, Loz. Yeah, my name is Azam Khan. As in Genghis. I'm not sure if I'm related, but there's quite a few of us about because the old boy he did get around. And my band is Hungry and the Hunted, which is basically me. So I'm the only one left now. I've always been the main guy in the band, so I've sacked the whole outfit, and it's basically just me left. So no, I'm just kind of joking about the sacking, but it's always been a kind of one-man operation, depending on who's in the band, and people come and go. We had a few celebrities come and gone through the band. I mean, we had the guy called.
Can you reveal who they might have been?
We had a few celebrities. Yeah. That's like the guy who played on the first album, Magic Bullets. The guy who played the drums on that first album, a guy called Tom Meadows, and he's currently playing drums with Kylie Minogue.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. And his previous includes Girls Aloud, and he basically left me for a bunch of good-looking girls. That's what basically.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I said, that's the music is better with you, honest, but these girls, they're bit better looking than you two, And he just wants a sexier stage presence to monitor his drums from, And we also had Barbara Luck playing bass on the first album. He's not as famous as Kylie Minogue, but some people might know him. He's a bit of a legend in his own mind.
It's actually funny that you say Barbara Luck, actually, because if for those of you at home, if you remember way back in season 1, when I had Keith Barnes on, the session drummer, he spoke a lot about Barbara Lux, and I do believe I'm going to be getting Barbara on a future episode somewhere down the line as well. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's an interesting man, and he's done a lot. He's done a lot of records, and it'd be good for you to have him on, and it'll be good for him to be on your podcast.
Yeah.
A mutual benefit will concur on both sides.
So what are the influences that you had that got you into music and to where you are now?
The musical influences, the thing is, I've gone through a lot of different phases, and I think there's a old saying that the music that you really get into your adolescence tends to stick with you the longest, has the most impact, because once upon a time, I've always been into music as a kid, but when I started, I was really into, and all the music that I liked was out of sync with the times, because I grew up in the 80s and 90s, but my music that I liked always liked the stuff that was around, you know, the current band, you know, like just like, you know, whatever you hear on top of the pops and whatever, you know. But I was really, first artist that I was really into was Elvis. And early rock and roll, 50s rock and roll. I was really into that. Elvis, Eddie Cochran, Elvis the Sun Sessions, which was his early recordings. I used to listen to that almost like every single day, the whole album, without fail. Eddie Cochran, Gene Vincent, Chuck Berry. So I'm really into 50s rock and roll. And then when I actually started playing, that was before I actually started playing music. And I had to kind of start playing music because I loved music so much. I had to take part in it somehow. And I just did not have the kind of, I couldn't imagine myself being a singer, you know, like somebody like Elvis. So I thought I'll play guitar, something to hide behind, and then, you know, you're still into the music. So I got myself a guitar, and I was really into the Beatles.
Right.
Beatles and Stones, you know, and that's like so in the 90s. I was a bit older one out, but I was really into the Beatles. Still now, the Beatles are like my favorite band. Although you can't hear in my music, but they are my. You know.
But they're your favorite.
They're my favorite band. I think, to be honest, the Beatles, people don't realize people are influenced by the Beatles without even hearing them.
Yeah, see, I'm quite influenced by Frank Sinatra and the original Rat Pack. I think I really love their music. Like, obviously, I as a young person, I guess you could say, I actually found out about most of that music and like the ink spots and all that from playing computer games.
I
It
really,
was it was a soundtrack on the Fallout soundtrack and
I love
Fallout
Frank.
franchise.
I love
Yeah,
Sinatra. He's so cool, isn't he? I mean, you know. Thing with Frank Sinatra is like he's got an amazing voice. It looks amazingly cool, and then the life he led, you know, and you think all the women they had. I mean, you know, it's just amazing, isn't it? Well, so I know this is going out to the kids, but you know, he just basically he dated a lot of glamorous women, didn't he? I mean, it's just unenvious. No, not envious. It's a very enviable record for anyone, isn't it? I mean, you know.
well, yeah. I guess maybe if you're a bit of a dirty dog, then
I mean, I don't think it was a dirty dog. I think it was, you know, I mean, they were women of that period, weren't they? But I mean, it would be equivalent of like, you know, which are you think about them, all the glamorous women right now,
hmm
right? And you get somebody come along and he's like dated most of them. You got to take your hat off to him, wouldn't you? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of, and plus, and he's an amazing singer as well. And he also did stuff to kind of like, for the civil rights, you know, in a little way. I mean, you know, I'm not saying he was like Martin Luther King or something, but for a white performer, he did a fair amount of breaking down the barriers for black music in his own way. You know, if nothing else, hanging around with Sammy Davis Jr.
yeah.
Again, an amazingly talented guy.
So you mentioned earlier about the bands that you've got. Can you explain the creative process that you go through when you're making your music? You know, like from the idea to the conception to actually, you know, like getting it produced and out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 different ways I do it. Sometimes I have like a riff. I just have a riff, and then I would kind of expand upon it. I would play the riff, and then a melody will come, and then I would take the, then I would get a groove. So if I'm, you know, I present the riff to my drummer, whoever's drumming with me, and I'm very much into groove. You know, I like drums. That's what I listen to when I'm playing live. Only thing I really listen to is the drums. Right, that's what I listen to. In fact, we did loads of gigs. Hungry and the Hunted, we did about 4 or 5 years of gigging with no bass player, which was like White Stripes or Black Keys, because we couldn't find a bass player, and then thought we're not gonna hang around to wait for the ideal bass player to come along. We're gonna do gigs, you know. So I'm totally at one with drums. So with the songwriting, it's either I get a set of words and I make a song from that, or it's a melody, or it's a riff. So it's 3 different ways of doing it. Sometimes I even get inspired by a song and I will try to rip it off. Yeah, I will try to rip the song off. But then, and thing is, I'm not very good at copying other people, and I never have been. That's why I couldn't really make cover bands, because I'm just my ears, they're not that way inclined.
Right.
So
Okay. Now, before you carry on there, you did warn me beforehand that talking about cover bands and tribute bands is your trigger. So we're just going to move on from that bit so we
yeah,
don't.
I go start ranting and raving, it's like foam starts coming out of my mouth and the
Yeah.
skin starts melting down. Yeah, just,
Yeah, you did warn me that that was your trigger. So we're just going to step over that. And we are going to move on.
oh, basically in terms of writing songs, three: guitar riff, and everything else comes from the guitar riff, or set of lyrics. I might have set of words. Then I would try to find a melody, or just the melody would come into my hand. You know, like the old Paul McCartney when he had Yesterday. It was a penny. He just had a melody come to him at night time, and he couldn't. And he just like to keep the melody. He was something like scrambled eggs or something. He called it that to keep the melody, so I can memorize the melody, and then eventually turn into Yesterday. So I mean, I do a lot of rewriting. So if I write words, I rewrite. So I'll get the set of lyrics down. If I can even show you my set of lyrics, for example, something like this.
Okay.
That song that has been recorded now, but that did not start out like this. So yesterday has been and gone. Tomorrow it might rain. Take our chances now. Follow the sun. See, bitterness is not a virtue, even though it's deep within you. Quit that thinking and find another plan. So that would come about. I would have a set of words, and I would chip away, and I would get a better word, and it's like writing and rewriting, basically. So that's like, and also with the problem with writing lyrics for songs, it's not like writing poetry. It's a different thing. You have to. Some words are very hard to sing. So you have to kind of chip away, and sometimes you can't put in propaganda or individualism and anti-disestablishmentarianism kind of thing into your songs as much as you would like to, and then you tend to angle towards words that are easier to sing. So it's a compromise.
It's a compromise.
Yeah,
Just like pretty much everything else in life is a compromise. Like, for instance, I don't want a Christmas tree up. My wife does, so we compromise and we put a Christmas tree up.
I thought you were going to say change the wife, get divorced. Yeah, no, but the
No,
thing
I'm not going to change the wife. I won't find anyone else to put up with my crap.
I was going to say, yeah, the thing is, if you've got a wife, be good to the wife. Learn from a man who's made his mistakes and lost a bunch of wives along the way. So just respect the wife. And to be honest, women they keep telling you they're always right, and they are. Thing is, women tend to be more right than wrong.
Well, it's funny that you say that, but in all the years I've been alive, I've rarely been wrong. So that's saying something.
Yeah, I would ask for a second opinion on that. I haven't got your word for it,
That's all right. You can take my word from it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, take my word for it.
All right.
So, what is the one thing that you wish you had known now that you could have taken back to your younger self at the start of your music career?
I would say I underestimate technology. I was always a little bit behind technology. I mean, I thought, websites, who needs a website? And I felt like, like YouTube, oh gosh, and I thought I didn't realize how important YouTube was going to be, So
I don't think anyone did. I don't think anyone knew how important YouTube was going to be.
Yeah, because people were talking about the YouTube influence thing. Oh, you got to be joking! Just some bloke pontificating about what Shayway uses and like what clothes and all that. And I still think most of YouTube is a whole lot of rubbish. But
I'll try not to take offense to that.
no. But also, we're going to say it is the medium now. It's the platform now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Forget TV. Forget I mean, I get most of my entertainment from YouTube. YouTube is you know. So I would say I was a little with streaming. I thought I don't want my music streamed. I want to sell my CDs, you know, and like, but now I think about it, and you know, nobody can sell anything. I've still got a whole bunch of CDs left, but it's you know, but it's what goes around comes around because I mean, you've got like a vinyl revival, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, the vinyl revival is definitely a thing. There's a lot more people, a lot more kids nowadays buying vinyl. Like for instance, I know someone who got a vinyl record player, and they don't buy CDs anymore. They just buy vinyl records again.
Yeah.
And like this is like a young person. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. But vinyl is definitely making a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because people still kind of long for something to hold. It's not the same as streaming, you know. Like you say, oh yeah, I've got 5,000 songs, like Spotify, you know, like you know. Don't get me started on Spotify, you know that thing, like you know. But you don't. It's not. It's, you know, it's like something. Why a record cover? Why you something you own? It's your cradle. It's like, you know, you can grab hold of it. You can listen to them. I remember listening to records, and I was listening to them. I would study the sleeve, you know. I would listen to it and I would turn around. If sometimes there were a lyric sheet inside, I would listen to the lyrics, read the lyrics alongside listen to the song. You know.
I remember when they had the lyric sheets in the old cassette tape cases. Used to read them all the time when I was a kid, like all the lyrics on it. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And some of the old like when CDs started becoming a thing, they had like the lyric sheets there as well, and some CD like special edition CDs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so I mean, things if you still make an effort. I mean, I'm not trying to plug my CD here, but I mean, I went to a.
Really, I never would have guessed.
I mean, see, look at this booklet, right? See all the lyrics inside.
Yeah.
You know, and all the design. Can you see the design? I put a lot of time and effort in that. There's like an outlaw theme to this one because at the back you can see Geronimo. That's like a PLO lady. There's some Russian Cossacks. That's Pulan Devi, the bandit queen. She's an amazing character. She's an absolutely amazing character. People should search her out.
So what is the one message out there that you like to give to your fans if they might be watching this?
Fans? I don't think that would be quite. I think all two of them will be tuning in my fan. Yeah, that includes my mum as well. Only thing I would say is do not take things upon face value. Right? What society pushes at you. Do some research. Get educated, properly educated, you know? Don't get your news from the BBC, ITV, Sky, whatever. Look beyond and
well, like most people in this day and age, I get my news from memes on Facebook.
Well, I hope we're not serious there, but it's yeah, well, you know, whatever. I think actually, to be honest, you might well be doing better than getting your news from Sky or the Fox News. You might as well get it from memes, and don't get sucked into celebrity culture. And if there's anything that you want to do it because you want to do it, because you love doing it, not because you want to be famous, you want to make money. Because you're going to be extremely disappointed if that's why you're doing it.
Well, I asked for a message, and that was most definitely a message.
Yeah, that was I was representing my spiritual side, you know.
No, that's all good. It's all good. Right now, as most of you at home who've been watching my podcast for a little while, you know what time it is now. It is now time for us to get down to the nitty-gritty part of the interview, where we ask the tough questions. We try to make the guests feel a little bit on edge, a little bit uneasy, because they don't quite know what they're going to expect.
I'm always I've stood on the edge, and I'm standing and I stood and looked down. You know, that's me. You know, you get like you get this feeling when you're in a chair, right? And you kind of lean back, right? So you're like in two legs, right? And if you do that, you on one leg, right? I'm like this all the time.
Right. Okay. So then you should feel really comfortable then.
I'm comfortable being uncomfortable.
You should feel really comfortable then with these uncomfortable questions and these difficult questions that I'm about to ask you. Then
I grew up in Upton Park in Canning Town. Everything's easy after that.
yeah, I'm just a simple country boy. I don't know anything about that.
You don't want to know anything about that.
Right. So, Azam, my first difficult question, my first super serious question
Yeah.
for you. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
If you had to become an inanimate object for a year, what object would you choose to be?
For 12 months.
Yes.
But I mean, if I become this inanimate object, would I
Mhm.
still be myself on the inside?
I don't know, man. It's just a silly question. Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, I think I'll become. You know that Nelson Mandela statue.
Yeah.
I'll become that.
Okay.
You know, I can be so like, if I never achieve greatness in my life, I'll achieve it by default by existing as Nelson Mandela's statue or the wax. Well, not the wax. You know the one that's outside. You know the one that's outside near. You know the famous one.
If you're talking about like in London, I don't know. I don't.
Oh right, yes, it's in London. It's the one they kind of cordoned off for a while because they thought, you know, some protesters might try to daub it or something. It's the Nelson Mandela statue. It's made out of some kind of metal, and it's a beautiful statue. Yeah, I'll be that then.
Fair enough. That was a good one.
Mm.
That was definitely a good answer. It's quite inspiring answer as well.
Yeah.
In a way. I mean, if you could be anything, what would you be? Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. Oh, otherwise, if not, I'll be like the mixing desk in Abbey Road Studios. You know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got two choices there. So you know.
Okay, we've got two choices.
So all the music will come in, you know, people coming in, and all the music will be going into me and being mixed, you know. All these famous producers moving my, you know, buttons and I was going to say knobs, but you know, I'm not sure if that's you know that can be misconstrued. That word,
Yeah.
We don't want to get into like this carry on style humor, do we? You know.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, these next three questions that I've got for you is I'm actually a little bit scared about asking them to you because when you told me about your triggers and everything else, like stuff to try and stay away from.
My reputation comes before me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit nervous asking you these questions,
Yeah.
but I'm going to do it. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to stay strong, persevere, and just get through it.
Yeah. The difficult question. Do not be afraid of asking difficult questions. You know, if you're gonna go into this industry as like a podcaster interviewer, you go be the next Michael Parkinson, or you know, I keep saying Joe Rogan. You know, Joe Rogan's got, you know, he's got some strange views, isn't he, that guy? Anyway, right, just go and ask me then.
Right. Okay. What are your thoughts on the music industry today?
Well, there's a lot that's wrong with it, and there's some that's right with it. I think it has become, due to the advances in technology, it's become a lot easier to make music and a lot easier to put it out. So I believe there's a lot of people doing music now that probably would not have done it 20, 30 years ago because it was a lot harder to do music. So you're coming through a lot of people. In a way, one way it's good because a lot more people are getting the chance, but then you're also getting a lot of chances doing music now.
And then you got the market being saturated by countless different.
And also what it is, it's like they see music as a passport to celebrity and fame. They're not into it because they totally love music.
They don't realize the hard work that you've actually got to put into your music to even get anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, yeah, I mean, the hard work or hard work beside them, they put a lot of hard work into looking good and publicizing themselves because it's a lot easier to make music. I mean, back in the day, you'd only way you could record music was to go to a studio, have a real band with you, and you thrash it out and you record, and then it will get mixed or whatever. Now, most people can record an album on the laptop. They don't have to get drama; they can get beats and this and that, which is good. You know, some of the greatest music has come from, the greatest music of the last 20 years is hip hop, right? Without question. And that's quite often made from, like samples and whatnot. It's whatever tool you're using is only as creative as the person using it, right? So that's what I said. I mean, and also with the music, because now you're not really, nobody's selling CDs and things like that. Everything's streaming, and most people are just giving their music away. And I think music has lost some value. It's not the goddess it once was. It's more the kind of casual girlfriend, So there you can quote me on that. The music is not the goddess it once was. It's become the casual girlfriend, that you see every now and then.
I'm actually going to use that during the promotion period for this episode. Music is no longer the golden goddess, it's the casual girlfriend. I'm going to use that as the promotional quote.
Yes, it's not like a deep, passionate love affair. It's the hookup,
Well, that answer certainly wasn't as long as I feared it would be. So
I could go on, but
no, it's fine. Honestly, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll move on.
You're editing, man. You're editing. I hope you're gonna do me right in this editing, because in this whole time to the editing, you can make me look like a genius or an idiot. But the editing.
Yep. I have all the power right now.
Yeah. I am putty in your hands.
Although with my editing skills, you probably look like a genius. Because my editing skills, if I wanted to make you look like an idiot, I'd make you look smarter.
Yeah.
Well, my editing skills are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, not fair. I was going to say, because if you are kind of, if I'm being branded as a genius, I hate to fly in the face of public opinion. I just go along with it. I mean, so
So, if there was like something about the music industry that you had the power to change, what would it be and why?
That is a difficult question. You know what I would do? In terms of all the music the money that's coming into music, right? Mm-hmm. I would have it so it gets filtered down. So it ends up being so it's not just a few artists that are making like millions and millions. It has to going to be like a limit, so you can't earn more than a certain amount. And after that, the money comes down. So it comes down to all the people. So for all the smaller artists, or the music goes into music education.
A little bit like a pyramid scheme.
Yes. So I mean, basically, you can't earn over a certain amount. Basically, what like FDR did back in the 30s and 40s, where he did he put the taxes up to about 90%.
Yeah.
Because America was at that time there was a huge unrest. The unions were really, really unhappy about how poverty was like breaking everyone down. And the president of the time, I think it was Theodore Roosevelt, he said, look, you got all these millions years together. Listen, I'm trying to save you guys. We're going to put the income tax up to 90%. You're still going to be well off, but if not, we're going to have a revolution in this country. It would have probably been like a communist takeover of America.
Huh.
Yeah, because I mean, the Communist Party was really strong in America at one point, because they were speaking directly to the poor people. Well, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I just I would just say that in order for money to filter down. But then again, how are you gonna determine? How are you gonna determine who's a professional? You know, because I mean, I'm a professional musician. I do this for a living. That's what it says on my passport. That's what it says on my on my I'm a self-employed musician. You know, but then again, I know some people they have like a day job or they do summer job. They do this music on a weekend or whatever. Or they're playing cover bands or whatever, this and that, or function bands, and so I don't know how you, I don't know how you would do that, how you would decipher if, if the money's going to trickle down to, how do you
Yeah,
decide?
that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough one, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, all the other thing I would say is, all the other thing I would say makes people like Spotify or things like that would make them pay the artists more.
Now that I completely agree.
Yeah.
And for everybody else who have seen like all the previous episodes that I've done, and I've asked that question, I basically said either exactly the same thing or something similar. That streaming sites get great because it gets your music out there, but they definitely need to pay more for the artist.
Yeah, I mean, so that to be honest, that's a better, simpler answer. Maybe edit that the first one through because I mean,
Oh, I'm not editing this a little bit out. I'm leaving this little bit in.
all right, yeah. So I mean, yeah, just make the streaming services pay more. I mean, yeah, I mean, because I mean, it's a lot cheaper. The thing is, I know also a lot of people maybe just start buying CDs again. I mean, I don't see why not because it's a lot cheaper to produce CDs now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm flogging my CD for like £10 or £7 or whatever. I don't mind selling it cheaper. I'll sell it for a fiver. I'll sell it for a fiver a gig. So maybe people start buying CDs again. If they're buying.
I think that's good advice for anyone out there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually do like the artist's music that you're listening to, buy the CD, buy the T-shirt, buy a ticket to go see them live, buy their merchandise, buy their shit, because you don't realize that when you do that, you are actually massively helping them out. Because streaming sites and they're great for for convenience, for having it there.
Stay, aren't they? We can't turn the clock back. They're here to stay. We have to be realistic. We have to deal with the reality as it stands. We can't go back and change history that way. So we have things have to move on. Things have to move on. It's like when like for example when the ebook came along and Kindle and things like that come along, people think, oh wow, books are going to disappear. Have they disappeared?
No, I've still got quite a lot of books.
Yeah, I mean, people are still buying books. I mean, they buy books. I mean, look, I mean, I've got a whole bunch of books, and that's what I'm reading. I mean, I've never bought an ebook in my life. I haven't got Kindle.
Oh, I've bought I've bought like an ebook and an audio book for convenience. Like if I'm doing like a long distance travel, I'll just put my headphones in and listen to the book.
Oh yeah, I'm off for
And plus, I'm a big kid. I like having someone read to me.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing like a bedtime story, is it?
Oh yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not saying. I mean, if like, for example, if I had to go on a trip, if I had to go for like 2 weeks, I'm not going to take a bunch of books with me. I'll take a Kindle with me. I'll do my reading on that, or Kobo, whatever. It's just as long as I'm fine with that. I'm not. But for me, if I'm kind of based here at home, then I would actually read. I prefer to kind of pick up a book and read. You can't beat. I got that for my birthday present, good 5 years ago. I feel like I'll read it, but it's on my TBR list. But my TBR list is quite extensive, so.
Well, as this has gone on longer than planned, I've only got 2 more questions for you, and then I can let you go.
Right, hit me with them.
Okay.
Speed of sound.
How do you feel that the internet has impacted the music industry?
How the internet has impacted immensely, changed the game. Totally changed the game. Yeah.
it's made everything a lot more accessible for, if, like, say, like, someone wanted to talk to their artist, they could actually just send them a message on social media. 9 times out of 10 they'll respond. Sometimes they'll respond, hopefully. But stuff like that, you can actually talk to your favorite artists and actually get to know them, like, through social media. I think that's always that's a massive thing. I think that's really helpful, and access their catalog and just a click of a button. There you go. It's everything that they've done. Oh, you want to find out when they're coming back on tour? Just put it in Google. There you go. Sorted.
Or trying to access like older music, like some obscure 1970s band. Somebody's put up their album,
Yeah, exactly. It's just all there at a click of a button.
Yeah, so it's good you can access. Obviously, there's a downside to it because it makes, if everything's so accessible, it I mean back in the day, like, to give you an example, right? John Lennon and Paul McCartney, right? They heard about this record, this really great new record come out by a guy called Little Richard. How did they listen to it? They went all the way from the other side of Liverpool, because some bloke they knew had the Little Richard record. So they went, like, traveled about 20 miles so they can listen to that.
That's dedication.
Yeah, well, then you had no choice.
Yeah.
So they went all that way, other side of town, to listen to the record, and they made the guy put it on a 2, 3, 4, 4. They couldn't believe it. I mean, it's like John Lennon said that, he said, I thought I had everything with Elvis, but there's this Little Richard come along, and I thought, God, this guy sings better than Elvis, but that's how it was. So you would have to, you search out music. You would go to, like, record fairs or whatever, I'm just kind of, So I think doing that, and you spend your hard-earned money on buying something you didn't get it from Spotify. You had hard-earned money of £10 or whatever it was. If you bought a record, you would listen to it. Even if you didn't like it, you would give it a chance. You would listen to it several times because you spent some quid on it. And quite often with me, there's some music that I like the best, that hit me the deepest, I didn't quite like straight away. I mean, I didn't get Jimi Hendrix when I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I thought, what's all the fuss about? But then I heard, and I gave it, so I persevered with it because other people told me. And, like, he's one of my favorite artists, same thing with a band called Marine. I hated them in the beginning. I thought, what the hell is this? Yeah, because I was coming from, like, a punk rock band kind of, they're like a prog rock band, And what the hell is he going on about? Each song's about 12 minutes long, But eventually, So eventually, but I'm just giving an example. Some people, some people that I didn't like that much in the beginning ended up becoming my favorite artists. And quite often, some music that you like straight away wears off. It's disposable. It doesn't have, like, lasting value. It's like fast food music.
Fast food music. That's a nice analogy. I like that. Yeah, I like that one. Fast food music. I like that. That's a nice little analogy, though.
Yeah.
So have you had fun doing this with me today?
I have. Fun is not the word. I'm deeply ecstatic.
Deeply. You know what? I tell you what. That is actually the best response to that one I've actually heard so far. Let's just hope that my next lot of guests actually come up with a better answer to that one.
No, first of all, I love talking about music. I love talking about music with somebody who loves music like yourself, right? And I like to treat this subject with some form of intelligence and spirituality. And I can talk for England on this subject,
I know.
Yeah.
I remember the phone call we had that was only supposed to last 5 minutes, but turned into an hour.
Would be required,
Yeah.
And then I can talk about other things as well, we just kept to music, but
That's actually, it's funny that you said that you can talk for England, because when I actually spoke to Keith and I said to him that I had a quick phone call with you, and he was like, all right. I said, yeah. When I said a quick phone call, what I meant was, mate, it was only supposed to be like 5-10 minutes, just like getting to know each other a little bit before we did the show, turned into like an hour, almost like an hour and a half. We were just talking about shit.
Yeah. We're kindred spirits. You might not think it, but we are kindred spirits.
Oh, stop it! If I had a shave, you'd see me blush.
No. It's no compliment.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Compliment, mate. You don't want to be kindred to me.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You can't choose. You can't choose who you are sometimes, can you? No.
No, that's true. That's true. So, would you like to come back on here in the future?
Yeah, let's make it regular.
Make it a regular.
make it a regular. You know, laws and as.
Loz talks out of his ass.
Yeah, laws and as talking out of the asses.
There we go. That's the name. So that is all the time that we've got for today. Thank you very much, Azim, for coming on with me. And you heard it here. He says he wants to come back on the show. So the next time he does come on, and if you've got any questions that you would like to ask him, just put your questions down in the comments. Next time we get them on, we'll read them out. Now, I know I repeat myself every episode, but it is the exact same rules for every single guest. The weirdest, messed up, most fucked up question you can think of, I want to know so I can read them out to him. I want to throw this guy off of his game.
That if you want to get to Hungry and the Hunted, just go to the website www.hungryandthehunted.com, and from there you got all the direct links, all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Those are my 3 heavy hitters that I come at the people with.
There you go. Well, you heard it there. If you want to listen to his stuff and you want to find out a bit more about him, then you've got that right there, what you just said there. I will have those links down in the description just in case you missed it. So in the meantime, we will catch you next time. And if you want to be on the show and on a future episode, make sure you email me at submissions@madnessrecords.co.uk with the headline podcast entry, and then we will get you on the show. Or you can reach me on my social media, A Wee Touch of Madness, the podcast, on Facebook or Instagram. And I'll have those links down in the description as well. So in the meantime, everybody, stay safe. I'm glad you were here with us today, and I will catch you next week.